So as you guys know, I've got the last of the Gen 5 Dodge Viper box. I bought brand new off of Dodge. Anyway, big news. They called today, requested to buy all of these blocks back. I was able to get a premium out of them. They have a Gen 6 Viper in production. They had an engine change at the last minute. They've decided to go back with this block and do a twin turbo setup on it. So man, be on the lookout. The new Gen 6 Viper is coming out.
If you watched TK's Garage video a couple weeks ago, he talked about an Instagram video that hints at the resurrection of an American icon that a lot of people are very interested in, the Gen 6 Dodge Viper. Now, a recent post from Area 51 Motorsports claims that Dodge has repurchased old stock Viper V10 engine blocks. And these were blocks that were still wrapped, still on their pallets, and still have factory inspection stickers attached to them. Now, this sounds like Dodge is gearing up to build something pretty big, and that something might be a new Dodge Viper with a twin turbo V10.
As you guys know, I've got the last of the Gen 5 Dodge Viper box. I bought brand new off of Dodge. Anyway, big news. They called today, requested to buy all of these blocks back. I was able to get a premium out of them. They have a Gen 6 Viper in production. They had an engine change at the last minute. They've decided to go back with this block and do a twin turbo setup on it. So man, be on the lookout. The new Gen 6 Viper is coming out. 10 pallets of brand new Viper blocks leaving today.
Okay, I'm over 45,000 friends, and it's 66% of you guys who are tuning in but don't want to be my friend just yet. Now, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and let's have a chat about this new Dodge Viper video. Now, I know you are basically like right now that, hey, some random dude, any random dude can make a video saying that, hey, Dodge bought the engines from me and start a whole new, basically, Viper hoax, right? But the funny thing about this is, what if I told you what makes this video even more credible to me is who actually shared the video? And I'm not talking about TK's Garage when he shared it a couple weeks ago. This video basically is not just floating around on Instagram and just randomly and one just picked it up. It got actually reposted by SRT Addicts on their Instagram page. Now, I know who in the banana cream pie is SRT Addicts. Well, that actual person actually is a editor at Dodge Garage. And Dodge Garage, for those of you who do not know, is part of Dodge's official media machine. Now, my dear friend Tim Knisses had told you guys in the past that Dodge Garage would house some of the things that Dodge would do in the future, kind of like the horsepower locator, where they would tell you where to find your Mopar, your dreams in the future whenever it gets released at dealers.
And then we're going to update that weekly on DodgeGarage.com. So you're going to know where every single Hemi Charger, Challenger, RT, Scat Pack, Hellcat, Red Eye, you name it, where it's going. Think about it as a horsepower locator, because we don't want any customers putting in orders at dealers that may not earn allocation for what they're looking for. We don't want you waiting for your dream car that's never going to get delivered.
There are plenty of trademarks on that website as well that proves that it is basically a Dodge sponsored website and part of Stellantis and stuff. So, I mean, heck, even at one point in time, you could only look at the D170's options on Dodge Garage's website. So to me, honestly, if a Dodge Garage editor who has been writing articles on there since 2019, he shares a clip of this right here of where this guy is basically talking about Dodge is buying V10 engines from him, I think that adds a little bit extra weight to this video and makes it a little more credible. I'm still a little skeptical, but you know what? If this is getting shared on Dodge Garage, not getting shared on Dodge Garage, but one of the editors is sharing it, there must be something to it.
So as you guys know, I've got the last of the Gen 5 Dodge Viper box. I bought brand new off of Dodge. Anyway, big news. They called today, requested to buy all of these blocks back. I was able to get a premium out of them. They have a Gen 6 Viper in production. They had an engine change at the last minute. They've decided to go back with this block and do a twin turbo setup on it. So man, be on the lookout. The new Gen 6 Viper is coming out.
Now, the claim from this video, I think his name is Area 51 Motorsports, is basically simple, right? Dodge basically had a change of heart and wanted to go back to the V10 engine. Now, more than likely, they was probably gonna do something very goofy and use either maybe a Hurricane engine in the new Viper, or go with maybe the same V6 engine that you find in the Maserati MC20. So allegedly, you know, Dodge basically wants these engines back. That way they can build new twin turbo V10s for the new Gen 6 Viper. I'm probably going to expect maybe a naturally aspirated V10 Viper as well for a base version of the Viper, but the twin turbo V10 is obvious because of the new Corvettes that just came out, right? Now, a twin turbo V10 based on the Gen 5 engine architecture makes a lot of sense, especially if Dodge is trying to build a legitimate ZR1 killer. The upcoming C8 ZR1 from Chevrolet will basically push like 1,065 horsepower with a twin turbo V8. If Dodge wants to punch back, they need to do something that's not just loud and not just fast, but something that's kind of insane. And who would think that Dodge would basically come out with a high revving V10 twin turbo car? That right there is a heck of a lot better option than seeing something garbage like a Hurricane powered Dodge Viper. I mean, could you imagine right now a Viper rolling around sounding like this pure garbage that some of these daggone Hurricane powered vehicles sound like? But Dodge should make a naturally aspirated 8.4 liter V10 version with updated emissions and go ahead and start working on it now while they're still trying to secretly build their new mules. But the last Dodge Viper that came with a V10 had 645 horsepower and 600 foot-pounds of torque naturally aspirated, which is not that far off from what Chevy did with the C8 Z06. I think and I hope that Dodge finds a way to squeeze a little bit more horsepower out of there, maybe an extra 30 to 40 more to kind of get like a slight edge over the C8 Z06, and basically add an automatic transmission, and basically the Gen 6 Viper can go ahead and start off beating the C8 Z06 and then basically go up from there.
And this is an update on the Dodge Viper Gen 6 that's coming out. When Dodge called me this morning, I thought it was a joke. Anyway, they were only interested in buying the particular pallets of new blocks that still had the inspection sheets on them from the inspectors. They would not take them if they were unwrapped. They wanted them wrapped just like these are here so that they know the inspection is still good on them. It hadn't expired. Anyway, it's crazy. Within about 30 minutes, I had a wire in my account for $42,000 for these 10 pallets, and then turn around and I had a call from a driver that's picking these things up in about 2 hours from now. Anyway, I'll give you an update when the driver gets here to pick them up, but they're heading out, man. Twin turbo Gen 6.
Now, some people would say, why would Dodge use old blocks for a new car? But this makes a lot of sense if Dodge wants to get a head start and start building engines for these new mules. And these aren't just any old blocks that this guy has in his video. These are inspected, wrapped, and certified Gen 4 and Gen 5 cores, which would be perfect for them to make prototype vehicles off of. Now, I've seen some of these pallets that he's talking about in his video have writing for Gen 4 blocks. So I don't know whether or not this was part of the deal that he was talking about and he was just getting them out of the way in order to get to the other Gen 5 blocks. But it would be interesting if Dodge wanted those as well for some other reason. But this would be a smart move by Dodge to get a head start on Viper production by getting these engine blocks already. Now, they're getting this before a single production line is built, and they can spend more time on working on this new engine, testing, packaging, prototyping, and doing durability tests, turbo compatibility, and emissions compliance. And using these pre-certified blocks means that they can jump straight into R&D without having to wait on casting or tooling. They can see where they can push the boundaries of this new engine and blow engines before having to make adjustments to the block to perhaps handle maybe 1,000 horsepower or more. Now, maybe we'll see like an E-Rate version, which will be basically hybrid assistance on maybe the naturally aspirated version of the Viper, which would be pretty cool. And then maybe perhaps we'll see maybe a ZR1X version that can go toe-to-toe with Chevy, and they're a big dog, because I've seen a couple of video clips from Chevy, and they obviously was going after Viper with some of the tracks that they picked to basically go and try to show how great the ZR1 is compared to the actual old Viper. Now, if Dodge was wanting to use basically the MC20 as a base for the Viper, it would be wild to see that this car in maybe 2 or 3 years, just enough time while Chevy still making the ZR1, to see these two powerhouses go toe-to-toe again like they used to in the past. And this would basically be enough time to me, in my eyes, 2 or 3 years, which there's plenty of time for them to basically adapt the MC20 for a V10, and then hopefully get a ton of power out of the V10 to basically match Chevy.
Anyway, big news. They called today, requested to buy all of these blocks back. I was able to get a premium out of them. They have a Gen 6 Viper in production. They had an engine change at the last minute. They've decided to go back with this block.
And this is perhaps how it starts. You buy back the foundation to the Viper, you build your prototype quietly in the background, you basically blow engines and hopefully blow them during pre-production and not during production. Now you rinse, repeat until you stop blowing engines. You basically make mild to wild and basically maybe some hybrid configurations, and you get ready to launch when the platform and the plant are ready to basically say F you to Chevy. Now, it's worth noting that Dodge has already teased the Viper return recently, dropping Easter eggs in their Charger Daytona portal that they made with this goofy little graphics and stuff. So this engine rumor, to me, does not really feel out of nowhere. It feels like it's really the next logical step. Plus, look what Calvo Motorsports has been doing with Gen 5 Vipers over the past few years. They've been proving that the V10 architecture can handle twin turbos and push well past 2,000 horsepower with some upgrades. So it's not like Dodge is basically starting from scratch here, and there is basically a proven formula, and Calvo Motorsports have already provided that for Dodge. All Dodge had to do is basically follow that basic model and see what they've been doing, scale it for basic production, make sure it's reliable, and bam, FU ZR1. Now, I can basically just sit back here and imagine basically a factory-backed twin-turbo V10 Dodge supercar designed to take down the ZR1. That's the kind of Viper comeback that I think the world is waiting on, honestly. So here is where we at currently right now at the end of this video, right? We have someone who has pallets of Viper V10 blocks, Gen 5 blocks. Dodge is allegedly buying those blocks back from him. And we have a Dodge affiliated editor from Dodge Garage sharing this story on their social media. We have Dodge hinting at the Viper's return on their Dodge Charger Daytona portal just a few months ago. Now, is this really confirmed and really like an official rumor? I mean, it's not really confirmed, but you know, hey, I'll take it. And hopefully this will be the start of a new legend. One where Dodge starts with the engine, and then maybe we see prototypes running around in maybe a year or two. And then Dodge brings the Viper back when the timing is right. And if they follow this formula and go this route, I think they truly has something legendary on their hands and just wipe the floor with Chevy and the ZR1. And maybe this might happen sooner than we all think. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is this the start of a brand new Gen 6 Viper? Could Dodge be preparing a twin turbo V10 monster to go head to head with a Corvette ZR1? Or is this just another internet rumor just getting out of hand? Either way, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be keeping up with new leads. And there is a second leak or a document or any kind of confirmation, I promise you, you're going to hear it either here or on TK's Garage first. But until then, if you want to check out my breakdown of the Viper coming back based on Easter eggs from the Dodge Charger Daytona portal, you can watch this video right here. And until the next time, I'm out.